I'll just go to jail. No, you'll get deported. You'll get deported, you'll go to jail, you'll get deported. There's a lot of consequences that they're not thinking of. They don't care. They'll just use you as their mule, as to be able to go out into the area and sell their drugs for them, so they don't have to get in trouble. Because the big thing lately is getting underage minors to sell the drugs, because they will go to the juvenile system and the adult doesn't have to do hard time, because the child is the one that will do the time for them. And so Kathy contacted the school, because my thing with the school was, oh no, if we want this kid to succeed, how can he be in English-speaking classes only? He needs to be able to be in Spanish-speaking classes, and then we can, as he gets older, or as he gets into his sophomore year or junior year, transition him into English classes.
So in anticipation of them the hospital wanting to discharge him because he was feeling well, the surgery was a success, really there wasn't anything much they could do. And I understand, and him being there already a couple of days, gotta consider the bill, he's unfunded. On my mind was already the safety, the advocacy, the building rapport, how are we going to control pain? He was in a soft cast, so there was a lot of red flags with his story. Did somebody intentionally hurt him? Could he have really gotten caught in the fence? If he's going to go in a soft cast, how is he going to be able to walk for half an hour to get to the bus stop? The school that he attended is very large. Were they going to be willing to work with him?
Climbing the stairs inside
Climbing the stairs. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, let me start with transportation. So I reached out to transportation, and she's like, oh, yes, I'm very familiar with that student. Yes, okay, I'll take care of it. Call me back tomorrow, and I'll rearrange a bus pass. I said, okay. I reach out to the social worker, and she says, oh, yes. Yes, we know a lot about him. I said, oh, okay, good. She says, no, you realize that he's failing all his classes. I'm like, well, of course. There's the language barrier. I mean, is there anything we can do? Can we get him extra tutoring? And then she's like, no, Kathy, I'm going to be honest with you. He misses class because him and his grandma go and they panhandle in Civil Lavadio. And they're out there all morning and all afternoon, and they feel very comfortable. If you want to drive by one of these days, you'll see them. I guarantee you, you'll see them. Okay. And she says, and you also know he's in alternative classes. And I said, okay. She says, yes, he's in alternative classes because he got caught fighting, and he was also caught with drugs. Okay. Well, okay, how can we work together, right? Because we're all about collaboration, and how can we get him in a safe transition, right? Back into this shelter. And then she says, the shelter's another thing. Do you know, has the director been by the hospital? And I said, there's been ladies there, yeah, but they seem fine with them. I asked them, are you comfortable? Do you need anything? And they said, no, that's fine. The director of the center, it's fine. What am I doing here? And she's like, oh. Did they neglect to tell you that they had an outburst in front of me and that they needed to know what was going on with the student, that she needed to be inside my office with grandma to talk about all these things? And I said, no. She said, oh, okay. This is, all of those things are going on. And I said, I wasn't aware of that. Okay, well, then I feel that we need to go back to CPS, and I think we need to discuss this even further, and I feel that maybe if we discharge him today, tomorrow, we're not going to discharge him into a safe environment at all. There's just no way. As a social worker, it was difficult for me because it's rather intimidating, going to your medical colleagues and saying, like, I think we need to talk. And most of the times that I would interact with Dr. Berg, he was surrounded by other doctors and residents, and, I'd kind of wiggle my way in. But I said, no, and we were rounding on this patient, and Dr. Berg says, okay, Kathy, you're here, I'm glad. So tell me, how does it look for discharge? And I said, Dr. Berg, with all due respect, I have a lot of concerns about discharging this patient. In all good faith, I think we need to revisit this. I think we need to have a conference, not only with grandma, but I think we need to invite CPS. I think we need to invite law enforcement. I think we need to invite a different shelter. the social worker from the school because we cannot do this alone. And though, you know what, I don't have a medical background, I don't, but in all my training, in all my years of school, and I can see my mentors here in the audience, I can hear them like, no, in all good faith, ethically, morally, I have major concerns, major.
And one thing I need to mention is, those of you who live in El Paso County, thank you for passing a tax on yourself to build a hospital that cares about children and not profit. I know you've heard a lot of things in the news about bankruptcy. Yes, we chose to hire some people who don't know what they're doing. But your hospital that you're paying for is saving children's lives. And in any number of hospitals in this city, this kid would have been thrown out. So Dr. Furman is not here, but he's the chairman of the Department of Pediatrics. I want to thank him for allowing us to do this, and also the CEO at the time, a gentleman named Mark Herbers. Because I went to him and he said, what's the best thing for the child? And we said to keep him in the hospital. And the answer was, keep him. We're a nonprofit. Our profit comes from when this child came back in, gave us a hug, and said thank you. So you guys deserve that.
So here's the human trafficking myths 101. How many of you in the audience, just, give me a raise of hands, how many people feel that this was human trafficking? How many of you are unsure? How many of you say no? Good, she's honest, that's good. And that's kind of why I wanted to bring up the myths. I think human trafficking gets confusing because people confuse it with smuggling, which is two different things. Smuggling is you pay somebody and you say, you know what, I live in Mexico and I want you to bring me to the United States, and it's a business transaction. Now, does it often turn into human trafficking? Yes, it does. Does all human trafficking involve sex, like in his scenario? It didn't, right? But I think that's what we also correlated with. No, you know what? We didn't hear about him being sexually abused. We didn't hear about grandma being sexually abused. It wasn't human trafficking. No, not in this case.
But one of the red flags from myself when I'm speaking to Kathy about the living arrangements is that you had a 14-year-old boy who was housed with, were they 18?
All women,
All women.
adult women.
That's where he was sleeping.
He was the only juvenile.
He's the only juvenile that they made the exception of allowing him to stay there, but then they housed him separate from his grandmother in, it was like a big room like this where they have a bunch of cots with all women. So we're putting him at risk because sexual abuse isn't just, a man abusing a female or a child. It can be women. Women can also be predators and sexually abuse him. So they were putting him in danger.
In other cases of human trafficking that we've had the privilege of caring for, oftentimes the children are suckered in by drugs. A man or a woman tells the child, you're beautiful, you're great. They may have witnessed an argument between the parents or boyfriend or girlfriend at a mall. They approach that child and use drugs. And oftentimes the children are used to sell drugs, but it sometimes becomes more profitable to use them as sex slaves.
Sex trafficking means the same as prostitution. No, it's very different. Remember when we're talking about sex trafficking, somebody's forcing them, somebody's forced. Prostitution is a different choice, right? I think we can argue sometimes that people use prostitution because they feel like they need money. But when we're discussing sex trafficking, we're talking about being forced. Victims are always held against their will with physical force or restraint. Not necessarily. In their case, you would think so, right? Because we go back to, again, this spiral fracture. There really wasn't a fracture in itself. There was more to it. And denies, right? Denies that they physically hurt him, that they don't harm him, that they're great, that they're perfect.
And, I'm sorry. And to him, this is now his. To him, they are. To him, they're protecting him. They're taking him in. They took him in. They're providing him food, shelter, clothing. They are taking care of him. If he wasn't there, if him and his grandmother were not at this shelter, where would they be? So there's almost a sense of a loyalty to them. I cannot talk bad about them. It can always be worse. It doesn't matter if we have to pay $10 to wash our clothes. $10 when you don't have money is a lot of money to be able to wash your clothes. It doesn't matter that I have to skip school to go panhandle to earn money so that I can pay the shelter, because this is all I have. If we didn't have this, what would we have? So there is that sense of loyalty. I'll do that for you because you're taking care of me.
And then remember, they came from Mexico, where they escaped violence, where they said that they were in desperate need of many things, to include food. Here at the shelter, they are provided meals. They are provided a place to shower, a place to sleep. Maybe not be the best, but in comparison to where they came from, they felt it was very helpful. And then